Low test scores, reliance on devices, AI, short attention spans. What research tells us for helping children in today's digital age. This is Smart Parents, Smart Kids. As the pen and pencil said to the young student, right is right. And that's what we're talking about this week on Smart Parents, Smart Kids. This and this. Old and new. You know how long these things have been around? All the way back to the 16th century. Of course, that's the 1500s. In those days, these were called graphite sticks. This PC keyboard, it's been around since 1981. That was the year MTV started. Ever wonder what commoners had to watch for entertainment in the 16th century? Back then, they had public executions. That's no joke, but they could keep track of how many with their handy graphite stick. That's enough about back when combs were made of wood, bone, or ivory. Now, in this high-tech age of ours, we want to discuss which of these is more sophisticated, this 15-cent pencil or this $21 keyboard. I hope you're asking what's the context for sophisticated. By now, you know me, you know this show, and you know we're looking at it neurally, meaning what's best for the brain. Is there a difference in how the brain works when we're using this or this? Yeah, there is, and that's our topic. This episode is sort of a response to what many U.S. schools haven't been doing, and that's cursive. It went out the window all over the country after the introduction of Common Core standards in 2010. It's hard to believe, but those national standards didn't expressly mention cursive writing. But keyboarding skills? Yeah, you know, priorities. With keyboarding skills, the kids can feast on the social media beast and then use those skills later when they get that cubicle job. Signing your name? Who needs that? Why do I need to learn to scribble when I do everything on my phone? Well, there's good reason. And I'm pleased to report cursive is making a comeback in schools. Education Week says that as of August this year, 2025, 24 states are requiring cursive be taught in grammar school. Why the resurgence? It could be findings from recently published research. Research that tells you some very important things if you're a parent. Let's get right to the meat of it. Quote, "We urge that children from an early age must be exposed to handwriting activities in school to establish the neuronal connectivity patterns that provide the brain with optimal conditions for learning." That quote is the fifth line in a study published last year in the journal Frontiers in Psychology. The study's titled "Handwriting, but not Typewriting, Leads to Widespread Brain Connectivity." It's by scientists at the Norwegian University of Science and Technology. They said, whoa, wait a minute. Yeah, keyboards for kids are less demanding and less frustrating than handwriting. But what we need to look at is, are they better for learning? Their study investigated the neurobiological differences related to writing and typewriting in the young adult brain using high-density EEG. What's EEG? That's recording the electrical activity of the brain using electrodes that are placed on the scalp. Multiple studies have shown handwriting training improves spelling accuracy, memory and recall, and facilitates letter recognition and understanding. But what does this do to your brain that this doesn't? The Frontiers in Psych study found that handwriting stimulates more of your brain, resulting in the formation of more complex neural network connectivity. It's more neural activity that involves larger areas in the brain than typing on a keyboard. Keyboarding doesn't activate these neural networks the same way that handwriting does. So this means what, Singer? It means when you're handwriting, your brain is more engaged and yields knowledge advantages. Quoting here, The ongoing substitution of handwriting by typewriting in almost every educational setting may seem somewhat misguided, as it could affect the learning process in a negative way. One of the Norwegian researchers, neuropsychology professor Dr. Audrey Vandermeer, told Scientific American that taking notes by computer is typing without thinking. She said what you hear kind of goes in through your ears and comes out through your fingertips, but you don't process the incoming information. But when you take notes by hand, it's often impossible to write everything down, so students are forced to actively pay attention to the incoming information, process it, prioritize it, consolidate it, and try to relate it to things they've learned before. The advantage? It can make it easier for students to stay engaged and grasp new concepts. Here's a fact, friends. Young Asian children have an advantage learning math that other kids don't. It's easier for them to learn numbers and arithmetic because of their language. That's even been reported by NPR and the Wall Street Journal. So, you know what I thought? Hey, why don't we teach in Chinese? Yeah, right. Just kidding. What I thought was, why doesn't some smart person, like a Jersey guy stranded in Iowa, create an early math program that converts the Chinese language advantage to a visual system? And you know what? I did it. And I tested it for years. So now there's American Advantage Math for 4 to 6-year-old children. It's extracurricular. It makes learning number identification, place value, base 10, and addition and subtraction easy. It advances your preschooler, kindergartner, or first grader ahead of grade level in just hours. But it's for you, the parents out there, because school systems all over America told me to take a hike. They want the kids where they are. More than 60% not proficient. Now, if you become a Smart Parents, Smart Kids member, you get the program components when I begin releasing them in February. You'll also get some other additional content and get to talk to me direct so I can answer the questions you might have. So, become an SPSK member. Just click the ko-fi.com/watchspsk link in the description below. Together we can do wonderful things to help develop children's skills and cognitive development. That's what it's all about. Become a Smart Parents, Smart Kids parent. Let's talk just a bit about young kids. Research at Lagos State University in Nigeria found that handwriting interventions play a significant role in enhancing the academic performance of students in the early years. Their research reinforces the argument that handwriting is more than just motor skills. It's a crucial cognitive process that contributes to literacy, comprehension, and overall academic performance. And according to Professor Audrey Vandermeer, who co-authored the Norwegian study, handwriting, not typewriting, leads to widespread brain connectivity and improves letter recognition in preschool children. She believes that handwriting, which engages the motor system, is how children learn to break mirror invariance. What's mirror invariance? That's wrongly registering mirror images as identical. For example, not being able to decipher the difference between lowercase b and lowercase p. Handwriting can correct that. Parents of very young children out there, it's worthwhile to have them hold a pencil, a pen, a marker, a crayon, and have them color and trace letters and numbers. It's really good for them. We need to get some American research in here. Let's go Ivy League. Princeton researchers published a paper in Psychological Science, "The Pen is Mightier Than the Keyboard: Advantages of Longhand over Laptop Note-Taking." There's a key takeaway I think you should know about. The research states that if the student using the laptop is just transcribing content, which is highly likely, the note-taking benefit disappears. The authors wrote that synthesizing and summarizing content rather than verbatim transcription can serve as a desirable difficulty toward improved educational outcomes. Desirable difficulty, I like that. It means not as easy but more beneficial. The question is why? Quoting here, laptops may impair learning because their use results in shallower processing. Princeton found that students who took notes on laptops performed worse on conceptual questions than students who took notes longhand. To close out this episode, I want to share two terms I didn't know till I read the Princeton study. Two terms you may be interested in, or not. Note-taking can be generative or non-generative. Generative means summarizing or paraphrasing. Non-generative means verbatim, word for word. It's the non-generative verbatim note-taking that has most often produced more shallow cognitive processing among participants. And on that note, I think we should call it an episode and start work on next week's show. Remember, like, subscribe, share, tell everybody. I've got more trips to the bathroom in a day than I got viewers here, so let's kick it up. SPSK is content that matters and makes a difference. And you know what? I'm planning on adding an expert neurologist to the show late next month. Spread the word, friends. Smart parents, smart kids.